Check. Can you press one of the buttons over here?
What button?
Yeah, anyone. Yeah.
It's chocolate baby story time.
Yes. Oh. He's in my office.
I'll let you. Let me know what you think. Okay. Check. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. Check on my phone. 1, 2. I'm ready when you guys are. Anything in the mics? Anything in your headphones? You see me on camera yet?
I do. Share it. Okay, so this is on the live video. I can't hear you, but as I'm looking at it, when I share the file over to a new window, I can hear what's going on.
Okay. So let's just see if they can hear us.
Okay.
So let's just go live.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start this. Just let me know when you're ready. Check 1, 2.
So I'm gonna edit it from unlisted, and then we're gonna go public.
Okay. You want something from Veggie Grill? Oh my gosh. All right.
I guess I'll go. Are we live, Jordan?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Uzi, why are you calling your mother? Why? Come over here. Come over here. Everybody's watching the same thing in this room.
Wait, didn't Mom say that you can do that?
Nah, I changed my mind.
So but Dad, I was watching.
Hi, Kayla. I saw your notes in the Pearl Milling Asana task about the concept feedback, and I understand the concept is approved without the exercise piece of it, but without that, I would actually kind of like to change it to be like some sort of family challenge with the kids where I have like fruits and toppings that we can use that will be in unmarked containers with no other branding for us to be able to like compete and say who or have our audience choose whose pancakes would you try type thing. Let me know. I can type that up. We are about to record How Married Are You? But I can type that up and send it over this evening. But I just kind of want to do it that way. I feel like it shouldn't be a big deal, but let me know.
Are we live? Yeah, we're live.
We are?
Yeah.
It was live unsolicited.
No, people are in the chat. Look.
Well, my bad.
What were you talking about?
I wasn't talking about anything. Like it,
I'm gonna order me some food.
whatever. I don't see anybody in the chat. Am I in the wrong thing?
Yeah. Set it. You want to set it public, Jordan?
She said, "Yeah, you're live."
Did you have the wrong one?
What is happening right now? Okay, I will be available in the meeting, but I'll be able to answer.
What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 days until the conference. 3 days? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 3 days into the conference. It's going down. We are excited. A little stressed. A lot stressed. Okay.
Is he talking to me?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because I wasn't sure if you were evaluating your own stress levels, or are you even stressed about the event?
What am I do? What am I going to stress about?
Let's just welcome everybody, and then we can have a little powwow. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. I'm ordering food because I'm starving right now.
Well,
okay, let's do it.
we're
I'm
live
ready.
now.
Yeah, welcome back, y'all. How y'all feeling?
I'm gonna do the introduction.
Oh, you ready already? Okay.
Oh wait, what are you trying to do right now?
I don't know. I thought we were just gonna check in and see how you're doing, like kind of like a
okay.
pre-show.
Oh, a pre-show. All right, we're doing a pre-show, y'all. Hello, y'all. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I am super grateful that we hired an event producer.
Yeah.
Because I'm realizing that I'm not even in the weeds of all the like details.
Mhm.
I kind of am more like an overseer or whatever. And there's like a part of me that is uncomfortable with that because I'm always used to being in the details and doing every like thing. So there's a part of me that's like hopefully she has it together. And then there's another part of me that's like, just release it, girl. Let it go. And then there's a constant part of me that says, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. So there's been a lot of that in preparation for this weekend. I think the anticipation is definitely building up. I'm kind of like, okay, what am I gonna wear? You know, how am I gonna style my hair? What do I want the makeup artist to like do on my face? You know, and Glenn is just over here. Like, I don't even know if he knows what he's going to wear.
I don't.
But he's just straight chilling, y'all. He's just straight chilling.
Mm.
Like, I'll just figure it out when the time comes. And I'm like, I don't know how you do that. And yeah, I keep going into stores, trying things on, hating everything, ordering things, and they come and they're a flop. And yeah, but like everything's going fine. It's just hard, I think, this today, especially in the past and yesterday, because I don't have childcare this week.
Yeah.
And I probably should have made arrangements for that because it would have been easier to like go and move and do things. Like today I had to deal with the plumber. Apparently Chase Bank is having issues today where they're not like transactions aren't going through, and I called the bank because I'm like, we got the money. I don't want these vendors like freaking out on me because they're not getting paid. But luckily they are being understanding because I called the bank 3 times today. And yeah. I don't know. It's in one of those things where it's like I'm kind of stressed, but I don't really need to be stressed because things are going to be fine. In the grand scheme of things are going to be fine. Everything's going to come together, and yeah, one day at a time, one moment at a time, one task at a time, one email at a time.
Right. I am there with you. Like I know that this is going to require a lot of us.
Siri
So
is listening to you.
Oh, sorry, Siri. I'm not talking to you. Yeah, like I know it's going to require a lot of us, and I'm not stressed because
it's in the shot.
Oh, sorry. Right. We still trying to figure out the
lay of the land.
Yeah, with this live thing. But yeah, absolutely. So that's I just wanted to check in with you, see how you were doing. I can't wait to hear your chocolate baby story time today.
What's it gonna be?
I don't know.
even
It's a lot of drama that happened at the house today.
Mm.
All right, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh. Y'all, there's so many tabs open on my computer and in my mind. I'm sorry. Okay. Hello. My name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Belief Mel.
And we're here with episode 184 of
How Married Are You? All right. Oops. How's it go? My name Belief is Yvette, and we've been married 12
years.
Live in California. We got 4
kids.
Relationship scary is very necessary. We share our love and struggles. We ask
How married are you?
every Tuesday and Thursday, shoddy. If you're listening, you're in the wedding party. It's okay if you want to put your hands up. You got the questions, we got the answers.
It's chocolate baby story time.
Chocolate baby story time.
It's chocolate baby story time.
1, 2, 3, and
in the comments on the chat, were you guys singing the song with us? Were you?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. You go first, my love.
I watched you force Anaya to get her teeth taken out. You poked her tooth out. I was like, dang.
Y'all, the girl's tooth was literally hanging out of her mouth. I just couldn't stand to look at it anymore.
It was rough. It was like she was sitting there like, and it's like going the opposite direction.
It's going like this way. It's like her tooth is just hanging out on her lip. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, it's loose enough. We're going to take it out.
Yeah. And I was like, whose teeth are those? Because I have pretty straight teeth and you have pretty straight teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Something weird is going on in her mouth that I was like, I might need to take this girl to the dentist and make sure like she's all good. But I think now that tooth is out, everything looks like it's growing in.
Yeah, that was
the way it was supposed to.
But you just
and
she got all dramatic.
Oh
and
my goodness, the most dramatic child we have.
Yes, 100.
I thought it was Raya, but it might be Anaya.
I still think Raya is more dramatic.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, it might be a tie.
Okay.
Because
they're dramatic in opposite ways. Anaya is dramatic in like a shocking way.
What do you mean by shocking way?
Like anything she's experiencing is just over the top. Raya really does. It's like Anaya's acting. Raya really feels how he feels. But it's always overreacting.
So Anaya is dramatic in production type way. And Uriah is genuinely just dramatic.
Yes.
I can see that. Yeah. I can align with that. So yesterday, I don't know what it is. I think it was a part of me like trying to feel accomplished, like to get something done or to feel, how you feel the satisfaction of like completing a task or something. I could have chosen so many different tasks. But yesterday I chose to clean Anaya and Uzi's room because it's been bothering me for weeks now. And I went in there and I just, for me, I'm the type of person where if I'm going to organize a space, it's going to be like everything gets into a huge pile in the middle of the floor so that I can kind of work from there. Well, yesterday, I didn't want to be doing all of that and those kids just having fun. So I took their clean laundry, I put it in my bedroom, and I said, you guys need to fold these clothes while I'm doing whatever. Well, I don't know what the heck happened in there. There were so many different things happening in there. When I walked in there, they would be folding, and they were doing a pretty good job. Even Uzi was doing a really good job. Then at one point I walked in there, they were making laundry angels. So like literally one child, I think it was Anaya, who was buried in the I actually have video of this, was buried in the laundry and then would like say hi mom, like pop up and be surprised.
Yeah.
At one point I walked in there and those children were fighting. Like I don't know what had happened. They were having such a good time. And then all of a sudden I walk in there, they're in our bed and they are going for it. The anger, the whatever was insane.
Anaya and Uzi?
Anaya and Uzi. And I was like, I basically like put them in separate corners because I was like, what the heck is going on here? I used my stern mom voice and they were both just like, whatever. But then after like they had their timeouts or whatever, they came back together and it was harmony. And Brian was like, I thought you guys were enemies. I was like, I don't know what it is about these two, but they are like the siblings in our house, they can fight
Yeah.
and then just be cool like 10 seconds later. And I don't get it because I was still fuming over finding them that way. You know what I mean? I was like upset still.
You know what's crazy is that I got home and I was like, oh, let me check on my sleep progress because we got a brand new bed and I'm really excited about the brand new bed. And I was looking at my sleep process from the night before, but it had this moment in the middle of the day that was like restless. And that's what that was.
Oh, what time was it?
It was like 1 something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
It was.
gosh.
I was like, who was in my bed?
Because I was like, this is supposed to be quiet time anyway. That is hilarious.
Yes. Yeah.
So wait a minute. Like during the day, if I'm napping, you can see that I'm napping.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Because I could just be like, hey, if I see you napping, I'm like, hey, can you make me something to eat when I'm on my way home?
I don't like that at all. Oh, that's,
are you eating in our bed?
I don't like that at all.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So let's get to this topic. What we got for today? Oh, first of all, we got a very special situation happening. How Married Are You Live is this weekend.
Like,
How Married Are You Live is this weekend. Look, man, last minute, we gonna just let y'all know, final call. If you really want to come and you're around, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? We will work with you. We want to make sure that everybody who wants to be there can be there. And so we are accepting many people who's like, yeah, I can afford this much, or hey, I want to sponsor some people. It's been really great.
Yeah.
So we've been hearing some great stories. So if you are interested in coming to How Married Are You Live, you're like, dang, it's right around the corner, I can't afford it, let us know. We'll make sure you get in. We'll make sure you get there. One thing I want to have you do real quick, Jordan, is I want you to play the commercial. So he's like, uh-oh. Okay, so that means you got to press the hyperdeck. You got to turn it on, but you got to find the commercial. Is one of our children at the door? Anaya, why are you next to the door? There's a spider? Okay, well, tell one of your brothers to kill it. All right, you got it? Is it hooked up? No, it's not hooked up. All right. Well, anyway.
That whole time it wasn't like,
man, y'all better come to this thing, man. Go to the website, howmarriedareyou.com, howmarriedareyouPodcast.com.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that if you are not in the area this weekend, but you want to attend, we are going to have a recording of Saturday's panels up for you guys, and those tickets are available at the link in the show notes below, I hope.
Yeah.
And I will put them in the chat right now, but you can also order it that way.
Okay, so we got a question. That right? So we got an email. Yeah, we got an email.
Yes, we have an email that we would like to address.
Okay, let's do that later, babe.
Okay.
I see you here.
Oh my. Okay.
I'm gonna get the phone.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. I'm not gonna say her name, even though she is saying her name. But here is a little context and my question. The majority of my family members are married and or parents. I, on the other hand, I am not married and I do not have children yet. I am patiently waiting on the Lord for both. I am being very proactive in my solo journey in life. I love alone time, as it gives me the opportunity to reflect on the different aspects of my life. I also love hanging out with my girls and my family. My circle is pretty small. During my hangout sessions with friends or family, I find that people tend to lean on me for advice on various matters, to include advice on marriage and children. On most occasions, we will have an open dialogue on various topics, and everyone in the group will give their input. I could have excellent advice to offer on marriage and or children that I retain from either listening to various podcasts such as yours, from books, documentaries, or just my observations and experiences in life. However, there is always that one person that no matter how great or beneficial my advice or input is, they will always ask, "Are you married?" or "Do you have kids?" in a condescending tone, knowing very well the answer to both questions. However, sometimes I think by asking me those questions, it is a terrible attempt to try and discredit my opinion or advice which I think is rude. I understand that sometimes the advice that I give or the opinions that I have may not align with other people's ideologies. However, I do not believe that my opinions are any less valuable because I do not have on the job experience at being a wife or mother yet. Here's my question to you both. When you are seeking advice from someone on how to tackle certain challenges or being a spouse or parent, does it matter to you if the person offering the advice is married or has kids?
Mm.
Or do you only seek advice from individuals who have been there and done that or are still there and doing it? In other words, have either of you ever received great marriage and or parenting advice from someone who has no hands-on experience in either role? I know that Glenn has very strong feelings on individuals without children giving, parenting
Let
advice.
me say my part,
Oh,
but I don't want I want you to speak for you,
okay.
please.
So how I was gonna respond is there's a couple things here. If someone is talking to like, sometimes I'm not gonna front. Sometimes I just need to vent for a minute. Like, just let me vent, get stuff out. I don't necessarily want you to give me advice. I more so want you to affirm my feelings,
Yeah.
right? Like, sometimes there's that. So I think one of the like, an approach you can take with that one individual or people who may make those type of remarks to you is ask them, "Hey, I totally hear what you're saying. I understand how you're feeling. Is this a moment where you just want to vent, or would you like me to offer you some feedback?" I think that that is a good approach to take when dealing with those individuals specifically. On the other side of that, I do believe that we can receive feedback from people who are not married and people who are not parents that is productive. A lot of times when I am speaking to someone who's not a parent about a parenting issue or whatever, I may be asking, like, what's your experience as a child to someone like this? Or like if this person or this individual has a certain characteristic that aligns with my child, I'll say like, what was the best way for someone to approach you if you struggle with anxiety or if you struggle with like your skin color or you know what I mean? Like things like that. How like I'm basically asking for your experience, not necessarily for your advice, because sometimes your experience informs my parenting or even like how I may react to my spouse who may be like you know what I mean? Like, let's say that my friend is a creative, right? And they are, like and I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to, like, get through to him, and I just can't, like, help me,"
Yeah.
because his mind doesn't seem to be able to wrap around whatever the case may be. So then I'll be like, "Okay, how would you receive this best?" You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so I do believe that individuals who are not married and not parents can offer advice or experiential advice or perspectives. I basically think I more so appreciate them for their perspective, um, because it makes me reconsider things or reframe my thinking about things that help me to show up better in my motherhood and as a spouse to Glenn. That's
Yeah.
my take on it.
Um, I would like to one hit the chat in
Yeah, let me
the
open it up,
comments
sorry.
section. How do you guys feel about because is it unsolicited advice? Is she saying that people ask for her opinion?
Well, she's like, no, it's not unsolicited. She says, dang it.
Yes, people will say, we'll be talking about it and they'll say, what would you do? And they'll be like, well, you don't have any kids.
Yeah.
Right. So I would like to see people in the chat, people who have in the comment section, what do you think? Right? Do you accept or are you open to advice from people who are outside of the experience required? Right. So I would say that I used to be more receptive to people who were imaginary parents, right? So people would be like, yo, I would do this if I were you, right? You know what I'm saying? Or if that was my kid, I would do this. You know what I'm saying? So I would be like, oh, thank you. That's a good idea. I'll try that. But then I realized that there's a level of capacity that because I am like, you just don't understand. You just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's fairly annoying. And it's always the same conversation. Having a dog is the same as having a kid. Like when people say that to me, like I want them to just, I don't know. I want something bad to happen to them. I'll be honest with you. Like I want something like I want them to
Jeez.
not like I just want something inconvenient to happen. Like not like a huge thing. I want them to maybe stub their toe or like, you know how you hit your shin on something hard and you just like, I just want like as soon as they say that to me, I just want that to happen. So they'd be like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Because I
Mhm.
need you to understand
Mhm.
like how wrong you are.
And how petty you are.
No.
You petty.
No, I know, but I'm not God. So I can't make them hit a shin. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that for me, I really would love for them to experience what they're talking about because they have no idea. And um, every idea in your head is marvelous and it's simple. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You hear other people, you give other people advice all the time. And not you, I'm just saying in general. We
Mhm.
give other people advice all the time. I say, why don't you just do this?
Mhm.
Right? Like, oh man, that's a good idea. Like I can just do that. But most of the time it's true. But when you add in other lives, it's just completely different because there's so many variables.
Mhm.
So I've listened to people give me advice on Uriah.
Mhm.
Hey, you just need to look him in his eyes and tell him you love him and hold him. And every time he wants a hug, hug him. Okay, cool. You want to watch him for me. You know what I'm saying? So people who have been around, we have a couple who have been around Uriah, and he was giving me all types of advice. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to tell you that don't work. And they got to spend some time with him. They're kind of like, yeah, man, he's kind of a rough kid.
Who? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna put him out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they were just kind of like,
Mhm.
I get it.
Mhm. I had a very similar experience the other day with one of my friend's kids, and I was like, "It's not even that bad. Like, get over it, da 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 da." And then I had them for a while, and I was like, "Oh,
It's
I
bad.
see."
In fact, keep him over there. Don't bring him back because I don't know what I'm talking about. And I want to say, hey, sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? And that's okay, right?
Mhm.
And for those
Yeah.
people who like really mean well, right? I don't take advice from broke people about money.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't take advice from non-parents about parenting. It just
Mhm.
don't, it just is, even if you have a degree in um if you have a degree in early childhood development or something like that, I'm looking for gold in the cognitive information you're giving me about the child specifically and
Mhm.
things I may not know about the biology or the mental
Mhm.
of just the capacity of a child.
Yes.
But as far as like, well, because I did this post and
Mhm.
I was like, yo, all right, so Theo and Uriah didn't do what I told them to do. We all told them to clean the room. They didn't clean the room. They did something else. So I was like, okay, so the penalty is going to be you have to read like as many pieces of stuff I pick off the floor. You got to read 40 pages and you got to do 40 push-ups or something like that. And I realized that if I just said read 40 pages, Raya would have been like easy, no problem. Give me the book. I wanted to read anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I would have but Theo would have been like, man, I hate this.
Mhm.
But if I would have given Theo, if I would have said, hey, do 40 push-ups, Theo would have been like, no problem.
Mhm.
I'll do 80. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
And I was listening to someone talk about the law, and they were like, you know, if every time you do something, you break the law and you get a penalty and a fine, it's only a penalty for the poor, right? It's
Mm.
only a penalty for the person that it doesn't fit
Mhm.
with. So I was like, nah, you got to read and you got to do this because one of you guys are strong in this area and one of you guys are weak in this other area. So you guys are gonna have to do both two things you don't like, right? And so my point is in saying that is that when I said that publicly, people were like, if you force them to read as a punishment, they're gonna hate reading and they're not gonna like reading, they're gonna be uneducated. And then another guy was like, if you make them do push-ups, then this is gonna have a negative connotation to working out. It's like you guys both can't be right. You guys don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as much as I really want to be like, hey, I'll accept anybody's advice because some people don't know what they're talking about. They ain't got no skin in the game.
Yeah. Are you done? I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
I was gonna keep going, but I'm good.
No,
because I always find my way back.
So I really like what Devin said because I feel like I align with it. She goes, I think wisdom comes in many forms. So I'm gonna stay right there. I agree. Like, I definitely think that we all have wisdom because even like I didn't have kids when I started teaching, but I had experience like with children.
What are you saying?
Listen, I'm just saying. Like, sometimes parents would come into my classroom or call me or whatever, and I'd be like, this is what works in the classroom. Like, maybe try this approach. And there'd be some parents that'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for its feedback. It helped. Anyway, she goes, I think wisdom comes in many forms, but there is no teacher like experience.
None.
Experience will always make things different, but you can also gain perspective from almost anywhere. And I think that was my point with how I responded to this email, is because I feel like perspective does sometimes come accompanied with wisdom. There have been things that even Jordan has said to me that I'm like, he don't have no children. He ain't married. He's barely in a relationship or barely got in a relationship. No offense.
That was a shot.
No,
Jordan,
I'm just saying.
Please don't be offended. That was
He's
crazy.
not offended. Are you offended, Jordan? Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think that was offensive. I'm just saying, like, it's Jordan. But I've gotten things from him. I've heard him say things or just reflect on his experience with the kids. That's kind of made me like, it's just a slight perspective shift or a new way of approaching or seeing something. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's just cool to have like a new whatever. Because some like people are like, well, like I'm an aunt or an uncle who's been around these kids, forever and a day. So I do have experience with them. I do think that there is something there. I understand that it's different. I know you're ready to pounce. I understand that it's different when you are like, because Glenn is.
What did I do?
I'm about to say something that could potentially get me in trouble, but I know he's gonna love me through it. And the same is true for me. This goes mutual. It's both.
But I want you to put the emphasis back on you.
Okay,
because you
so
said
I'm gonna say it for me then. I'm a wonderful person, right? A lot of people get to experience me as Yvette, right?
She is. She's great.
But when you are married, and I don't know, but anywho, when you are married with me, married to me, it's a whole different experience. You get crumbs in the bed, you get burps, you get farts, you get door open while taking big, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a different experience.
You gotta finish that big what? Because that could be anything.
While taking a dump, that's what I was trying to say.
Man.
A big potty.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So it's like you get the unedited version of me.
Yeah.
And, we all have our little quirks that get on our nerves. And so sometimes when people are like, oh, so-and-so is not that bad. It's like, yeah, when you only get to experience them for a few hours at a time.
Yeah.
But when you are in their presence 24, like, for example, I haven't had childcare in a while.
Yeah.
And so today I came into this office at my wit's end. I was like, if I don't get any kind of relief, I'm gonna snap one. And I owe some kids an apology.
Yeah.
Like, I do.
This morning
I
saw her after my workout and I was like, what's going on? She was like, it's been a rough week. I was like, it's Tuesday. It's only been one day. It was early in the morning. I was like, what?
I was like, wait, it's only Tuesday. Oh my gosh. And then I've been doing this thing where I'm trying not to let them watch TV, but I'm like, at the same time, I might have to do that this week because of what I have coming up this weekend. Is gonna have to be like, okay, screens, get out of my face, leave me alone. Because unfortunately, when they are in front of screens, they leave me
They're
alone.
zombied out, yeah. So,
And it's too hot to play outside.
yeah. So I was thinking about it, and I was just like, okay, it's not that. But what was your point with that? Because you were saying like you were saying,
I'm just saying because I feel like sometimes people think that they have like the
yeah,
juice. This
the
is how you
answer.
deal with them.
Yeah.
But they're basing that opinion or that advice off of like a different version of person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they get to experience person in increments versus in like waves.
Exactly. So my point is like I can't make a decision. I can listen to your advice,
Mhm.
but your advice comes with a time limit that I don't know if I can sustain that. So what I'm trying to do, like I could get through the day. I'm
Mhm.
trying to get through the years. So one thing, like if somebody be like, yeah, well, why don't you just do this? Yeah, I could do that now, but I don't know if I could sustain that behavior. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know if I can keep up with that. So the questions are often like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And what am I preparing to maintain? Like sometimes you'll tell me we got the same kids. All of our children, they're the same people, right? We have access to them. Yvette spends more time with them. I say, man, you gotta just and she's like, I don't want to hear that
I
because
want
you
to
aren't there.
cuss them out,
You weren't
beat
there
them
today.
up, all things. Anybody from me?
And I'm
on
just
that?
like, is Monet in there?
Why
who
you say that? I said, is anybody feeling me on that?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, sometimes Glenn be at me and I'd be like, shut up.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell you talking about.
Yeah.
But
And
then I want to like put hands on him.
yeah.
And I understand that.
She's never said that before. That is wild.
I don't mean it, but sometimes it's just like, dude, I'm just trying to survive.
I know. And so most people are they're giving you the like, all you got to do is just love them. Like, duh, I know that. But sometimes it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's really, really difficult. And then with your spouse, like, I remember us being in the garage with all the guys, right? Remember when we were in the garage? My men's Bible study?
Oh, yeah.
And so we were all be in the garage. We were all be in there. And we had one guy that wasn't married. And we'd all be sitting there like, man, she's tripping, dog. So we be kind of like encouraging each other, but kind of grumbling sometimes like, dang, man, it's just like, I can't win, man. I can't do this right. I can't, you know what I'm saying? And so the homie was like, man, y'all ungrateful. He like, y'all ungrateful, man. Like, y'all don't understand. Y'all got ladies and y'all got this. Y'all got kids. It's beautiful. Y'all just need to be more grateful. Right now, 5 years later, he's in the situation we in.
You didn't have to say the number. People are gonna start putting 2 and 2 together.
But I really just estimated.
Oh,
so, he's like, I understand. He gets it now. He gets it now. But it's like you don't understand. That's our only place where we can congregate and talk.
Yeah.
Right. And so sometimes, when people try to give me all the time, and I get a lot of advice. I try a lot of unsolicited advice.
When we put our business out there, that's one thing that I have come to terms with. It's like when people try to come at me with advice or their opinions or whatever, I'm like, this is what I get for putting myself out there like this.
But we also got to understand too, it's kind of like, they really do not know what they're talking about.
Some people do. Because I have gotten a couple things from some folk and I'm like, oh, this is good stuff.
And I would be like, oh yeah, this is good stuff, but you're not here.
Sure.
So it's really hard for me to apply what you're saying. But I'm stubborn like that. I'm a tourist like that. So whatever. But yeah, that's difficult. That's difficult, man.
Is anything happening over there?
Man,
Joseph said advice and opinions are different. Both are subject to consideration, but one is qualified and the other is perception. I feel like that's very deep and solid.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do have another email, or do we want to call it quits? What's happening with you? Your face is doing something.
I just want to eat. I ordered food and I want to
Is
make
it
sure it's
here?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know why I did that. Yeah. But yeah, let's keep. I think we should end it because we have a long week. So let's just do another episode.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. How married are you?
Mm,
You cleaned up them clothes last night.
oh, I know how married I am. I'm so married that so on Sunday night, Glenn was like, what is going to be, because Monday night, I'm tired. My thoughts are already like crazy, jumbled. Okay, so on Sunday, okay, on Monday night, I had therapy. And so I was like, Glenn, I need you to be home at a certain time because I want to do therapy at the office because I do it virtual. So I was like, be home at 5 o'clock. And so he was like, okay, well, what's the expectation of me concerning dinner? And I said, I'll try to have dinner ready for you, whatever. Well, I already told y'all I got myself in a little bit over my head with Anaya and Uzi's room. And so I had that project, and then I had to leave the house to like go to the bank with all the kids. It was just a whole situation. And so, when we came back from the bank, rather than continuing and trying to wrap up Anaya and Uzi's room with like a pretty bow tied on it, I left it a a mess. But I made sure that when Glenn got home, the dinner was mostly ready for the kids and that the kitchen wasn't a disaster as well.
Mm,
And so I did that because I didn't want him to have to worry about that after a long day at the office.
yeah. Well, thank you, man. That's awesome.
How married are you?
I'm so married that I made the most uncoordinated breakfast for you the other day. Remember the Hawaiian bread French toast?
Oh.
Was it good or?
Oh, I liked it.
Oh,
I definitely think you could have done, like, better, but it was a good, like
I don't even remember what it was. Like I
he
had hopes and dreams. I heated up some potatoes I never cooked. I was gonna make some grits. Like I was just all over the
Oh.
place. But I made you like a very like I did the same thing you did to Anaya in Uzi's room in the kitchen. That's what I did.
And just kidding.
Yeah.
And what?
Come on, let's end it. Let's end it.
And
That's just how married we are.
are.
All right. This doesn't have an ending, but like a outro, but
Oh, we don't have an
no,
outro?
we don't have an outro. All right.
Okay. All right.
Boom.
Bye, guys.
You gonna end the live?
See you next time.